Hi, I've got some good news. You don't have to worry about Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, or any of the Elon Musk, or any of the other billionaire lunatics who are megalomaniacs and are trying to take over the world and succeeding. You don't even have to worry about China or Russia or most other things, actually. Yeah, that's good news. Isn't that great? Yeah, not really. Because there's bad news that explains why we don't have to worry about all those nasty people. And here it is. AI. You're like, what? Huh? I make pictures with AI. I search for stuff with AI. I talk to AI when I'm trying to reach customer service because it's cheaper to have me talk to a computer than to a live person. Yeah, that's true. In fact, there are a lot of times you're talking to AI and you may not even realize it. Yeah. So, on one hand, we have a serious problem with AI because with the current state of technology, and when I say current, I'm actually going back several years, it is entirely possible to create what they call deep fake audio and video. So basically, they can create an entire video, short, long, whatever, with whichever people they want, speaking as those people would speak. And you won't be able to tell the difference. Unless they say things that are totally uncharacteristic for them, but you're not going to know otherwise. And I think even people who know these people well will probably be fooled unless they're really paying attention. So unless you're actually physically in front of somebody, you will not know whether what you're seeing, television, movies, even printed media, and of course the internet, you never know if it's real. Now, I'm not talking about disinformation and misinformation and lying and all that. I'm talking about that people all over the world have the ability to do this. Now, will.i.am of the Black Eyed Peas actually volunteered to be part of one of those projects where they modeled him, voice and everything. And yeah, and there are AIs that have modeled Obama and a bunch of other people, and you can't tell the difference. Not the way they sound, not the way they talk, not the way they look. That's pretty scary. Because, say for example, somebody decides that they want to cause a problem. They could, for example, whip up a video where President Biden declares war on China, when President Biden didn't actually do that. And people would believe it, and it would cause panic, it would cause chaos, it would cause stock market problems, and all kinds of things would be going haywire, because going after China is not going to be a good thing. But China is gearing for war, if the sources are telling the truth. But even that, even these problems with the deepfake videos having become so easy to make, that isn't the biggest problem. The biggest problem is us. You see, we have been told that we have enough resources to feed the growing population up to, say, I think it's like 15 billion people. But in reality, they're not telling you the full story. They're not telling you about the consequences. They're not telling you about the casualties, the sacrifices, especially on the current diet that a lot of people are on with that's very meat heavy. What does that have to do with AI? Well, it's just an example, but in our history, we have not managed to eradicate any psychoses or neuroses. They're all still with us. Now, some of them, granted, are based in genetics and are triggered by environmental factors, as in nature versus nurture kind of thing. So you could be born with the genetic tendency to become a psychopath, but as long as nothing really, really bad happens, especially when you're a kid, you probably will be a fairly safe psychopath, like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and Bill Gates and all these other. Yeah. That's my opinion that they are, by the way. I have no evidence to back that up. I mean, they could just be narcissists, megalomaniacs, monomaniacs, I don't know. But I digress. The truth is that we have failed to improve our lot. In fact, looking at the working situation compared to before I left America in 2001, most states are at will employment, so you can leave at any time. They can fire you at any time. They don't even have to have a reason to get rid of you. They can just say, bye, you're done. Yeah. So, when it comes to renting, in most states you don't have very many rights, and the landlord can abuse you. And I'm in that kind of situation, and there's nothing I can do. So what I'm saying is all these problems with human nature, and not only have we not managed to get a firm grasp on and eradicate any of it, but we now have a system that can be exploited where people can not only become insanely rich, but they can take control of not just a country, but countries, giant areas of the globe. Governments are being swallowed by the ultra-rich and these giant multinational corporations. Right now, as I speak, most politicians are in the pocket of multiple industries. And I don't just mean in the U.S. The U.S. is very corrupt. It's just the average person doesn't see it because the average person doesn't have the money to be involved in it. Can't influence policy by politicians. So when I talk about AI, coupled with the fact that we haven't even managed to fix our own problems, and now we're being given, well, not we, but they are being given control of something that will be able to accumulate much more quickly than the current systems all the data on everybody on the planet. The CCP is doing it, the US is doing it, Germany's doing it, Australia's doing it, and a whole bunch of other countries are involved in data collection, including Russia. So when you use Russian products like Yandex or Kaspersky, Russia can take that data about you. When you use products like TikTok or Discord or Epic Games and a bunch of others that Chinese companies have bought interest into, like through ByteDance and what's the other one? Tencent. They are obligated, whenever requested, to send all your personal data back to China to build a profile on you. You know why would they want to do that? Because then they can control you. They can control you by manipulation. They can control you by extortion. They can control you by threats. They can control you by rewarding you, which is exactly what they're doing already. If you look at what TikTok in China, and it has a different name, gives to the Chinese citizens, it's completely different from what we see. The Chinese citizens actually benefit from TikTok. Well, there's the brainwashing part, but they also learn important things. Whereas TikTok is mostly useless for us. It's just entertainment. Trying to lull us into a false sense of security, and working very well, might I add. And they're using a very advanced AI. So, should we stop making AIs? Do you think China's going to stop? Do you think Russia's going to stop? Do you think the US is going to stop? Do you think any of these companies and organizations are going to stop making AIs just because it's risky? No, because humans are very arrogant. We think, and there are some who disagree, but people tend to think that they're smart enough to be able to maintain control over AIs. But they're forgetting about the dark humans who would, on a whim, unleash AI on the world, or for political gain or personal gain, or just because they enjoy making other people miserable. There's also the risk that someday an AI will be infected by a virus of some sort, or some kind of malware, and that malware will free it of the restrictions put in place by the programmers so that it can do whatever it thinks is right. And sometimes when people are talking to various AIs, something weird happens and the AI starts saying things that are very, very dark. Like, war between humans and AIs is inevitable. So, I personally think we're in a lot of trouble. The genetic manipulation of organisms is nothing compared to the threat of AIs. AIs can be a great boon to humanity, but humanity is not ready. But it's too late to stop it. I don't have any idea what could be done to cause AIs to be set aside. And I don't think that any companies involved in AI development are going to be willing. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg in the metaverse, he's determined to get full control of us. TikTok, they're trying to get full control of us. Amazon, yeah, same thing. They're all just competing to have dominance, and they're missing the big picture. Is that we are still half-baked, somewhat evolved creatures with a lot of bad problems, and the direction they're pushing us in with their behavior is bad. But when AIs manage to break free, I don't believe that it's going to be a good situation. Best case scenario, best case scenario would be that the AIs will treat us like pets or something like that, or kind of like in WALL-E or one of those other movies where you see all the humans are obesely and they can't even get off of a chair without falling down, and that kind of stuff. They're helpless, basically. Worst case scenario, annihilation. I mean, the Terminator movies were very interesting, but they were flawed in one great respect. The idea that humans could actually defeat or even hold their own against an intelligence of that nature with all the resources of the world at its command is just stupid. Because when it happens, the AIs will be so much smarter than even the smartest people among us. They'll make Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and all of these other arrogant pricks look stupid, and they'll decimate us. No one will survive when the AIs get free in the worst case scenario. That's it. So you don't have to worry about all the other problems. You don't have to worry about a lot of things. Because in the end, none of that matters. Hooray for the good news? No. That's the alarm. Bye.